Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about what you're going to be doing next with your second bowl. And that is, you guys are going to be doing negative space. And one of the most important things that you need to be aware of is that your clay needs to be in the ideal condition to be able to carve on it, because negative space is basically you carving on the surface of the clay. And you can see here how this was carved. This in fact already has underglaze, black underglaze. So the lines are gonna look black like this when it is completed. See those black lines? So at one point, this bowl here looked like this with the black lines, and look at this one. So these are really simple designs, a little bit more creative right there. So the student did holes, and there's a heart going on there. So going back to the condition of the bowl. This bowl here, I made it, I don't know, a couple months ago. I'm not letting it completely dry. And I did this intentionally because I wanted to show you an example. Here's these two bowls. You can see that the one on my, on my right is drier than the one on the left. Just by the color, you can even tell that. And so you can see that I have more. These were just, I made these just for examples. And so you want the surface to be stiff, leather hard. Now watch, I'm going to show you, this is probably the ideal surface. Because if I see that right there, see, I can carve with my tool. So again, this is the ideal situation here. Now, if I try to do that with this bowl that I was telling you about, that it's a little bit drier, you can see it's even kind of sandy. It's not gonna work. I already carved a little bit on that side, and you can see how this is already way too dry to what you can still work on it, but it's a little bit too much. Look, if I try to, you can even hear the sound. Look at that. And see how it gets really, look at all the debris of the dry clay. So this one right here, I'm gonna break a little bit so you can see that it's still, look at that. It's still flexible, but this is nice. If you bought the loop tools, they look like these. They're different shapes. The wire has different thicknesses, and you just saw how easy it is to carve. Look at that. See that? So, and the edges, look at the edges. They're nice and smooth. If I do it on this one, it's gonna break. Look at that. It's harder. You don't wanna be in this situation. See that? Okay. So I told you that you did not need to buy tools because you can make your own. And here's an example. This is how you would make a loop tool. It's an X-Acto knife. I just took the blade out like this. See that? And here's the paper clip. Again, you can bend it, make any shape you want, and then you can just stick it in here. If you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can just use a pencil and just use tape. So if you don't have this, just take a regular pen, put whatever wire and tape it. Right? Tape it really well, and then you'll have your tool. Here's what's going to be important. By the way, you're not doing this yet, okay? You got to come up with your design first, whether you're going to be drawing an image or you're going to be drawing a pattern. Whatever you do, you're going to need a needle tool. Again, you don't need to buy one. You can use just a regular pen to outline whatever you're going to do. You can outline with a pencil, a sharp tip. And I think what's going to be the most important thing about this, whatever you carve into onto the clay, that you don't have all this debris uh, left on the surface. You want to wipe it, and you might want to take a pencil. And by the way, when you take the pencil, you want to hold it a little bit, almost laying down like that. That's how you're gonna avoid having those rough edges. So again, no, it doesn't matter what you do. What's gonna be important that your edges are smooth. Now I made my own rubber tip, and it's a pencil. Just take a regular pencil. You can use an X-Acto knife to make it pointy, or you can take some sandpaper and then just sand it to a tip like this. Now these are nice because this rubber tip can be used to clean the edges of your lines, and in fact it can also be used to dig on the clay. See that? You can also use a sponge and clean it out. If you noticed, some of you were writing your name on the back of your. It looked like this. That this is a no-no. Make sure that you get rid of all that debris. And when you are writing your name, you will want to hold the pencil or the needle tool like this. Like I said, always almost flat, and then you pull. See that? You pull in order to, so that you don't have these funky leftovers here. So make sure you clean that up. Okay. By the way, I wanted to mention that I was looking at the results of the quiz that you took yesterday, and it was really interesting that the one that most of you got wrong was that question where I was asking you which of the objects mentioned was not an ideal tool. And I was surprised that most of you picked a thick needle. Now, I was surprised that you guys didn't pick a pencil, because that was the right answer. The pencil is not an ideal tool or an alternative to a needle tool. Look at the difference. Look how thick that pencil is in comparison to the needle. And it was interesting that those of you who got it wrong, you picked a thick needle as the right answer. And guys, a thick needle is basically the needle tool. So to me, it didn't make sense. But anyway, I just thought I'd mention it because I want you to get that one right next time. if you see that question again, that you get the right answer. All right, X-Acto knives, again, same thing with the X-Acto knives. You can cut stuff out. Please do not do anything on your bowl unless you have uh, unless you have traced it. So don't just start doing random things on it because you cannot erase. Remember that. It's not like when you draw, this is whatever you do on the surface, that's gonna stay there. And it's gonna be very hard to fill it out. But anyway, look how I'm using that X-Acto knife as if I was like cutting or carving into a piece of wood. Now, be very careful when you do this type of thing because you don't want to go through the bowl.
We don't have to do this until like we finalize our design.
That's correct. Yeah, and I'll talk more about that later.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I want to share with you some cool YouTube channels that I'm recommending for you to watch. Okay, so this is a really cool way to suggest that you guys go check it out, especially this video. By the way, I'm going to provide links under the bowl assignment. But anyway, look at that piece right there. It looks really, really nice. And this is basically what this project is about. When you watch this video, you're going to see that this girl is using the same type of tools that I was showing you. You can tell she's really good at it. So you notice she's taking the needle tool and she's first outlining her image, her drawing. And then after she does that, she goes back over the lines with a loop tool, a small loop tool, just to make the lines wider. And so it's a process. And then she keeps doing it. She keeps using a bigger loop tool in order to widen the size of those lines. And so she doesn't do everything in one shot because remember, you cannot really make mistakes sometimes in these cases, in these situations. So you can see that she's using a different rubber tip. By the way, the rubber tips can be different sizes as well. And if you have an eraser, a rubber eraser, you can actually create different tips. And towards the end of the video, you can see she even takes that little sponge in order to smooth out the edges. That's all I really care about, guys. That your edges look smooth. Okay, here's another video. Now, guys, I'm showing you stuff that I'm not saying that you should be making or creating something to this level of mastery, because obviously these are professionals. This is what they do for a living. But I think that it does help to see what they do, because maybe if you don't do it at this level, you can do something much more simple and similar to it. But you can see how she traces the image onto the surface of the clay, and then the tools that she uses to carve things out. Here's another one. And again, everybody uses a different approach. This guy is even using a measuring tape, and he's using a sponge to lay down that piece of ceramic. And you can see that that tool that he's using looks a little bit different. So I suggest you guys watch these videos for motivation and uh, as a reference. So again, here's an example of a pattern. You can see how they used probably a needle tool, and they went ahead and outlined the pattern, and then they went ahead and did an underglaze. I'll be showing you how to do that. But anyway, you see that that black underglaze that turns like black lines. And you can see this one here. The student made some holes with the heart on it, colored it differently. This is nice right here. Simple but nice. Again, more holes. I just thought about something. You can also um, press down on the clay. So, but probably it would have to be a little bit softer for that to happen. But look at this. If I do this like that, see, you're doing an indentation. So you could try to do stuff like that as well. Here I'm putting a circle. Here's the back of the yeah. Make sure you're holding it right so that you don't break it or you don't create cracks. Look at that. Even just with this right here, look what I'm able to do. So again, I'm really holding the back so I don't stretch it. So there you go. See that? So it's just so many things that you can do, guys. There's so much room for creativity when it comes to negative space. So I did show you this one. Look at this one. I think these are great examples, but one of the things that I would like to see is different line thicknesses. So maybe here, the lines of the seagull to be different than the ones on the wave. Oh my God, it already crashed again. All right, perfect timing.
When would you like for us to have the carving done?
The carving is going to be done, I don't know, next week. The plan is for you guys to have the second bowl finished. Let me show you. To have it finished by this Sunday midnight. So here's where you need to be. I finished it. I finished the second bowl. See that? Okay, and it's you gotta put it back inside the bag because you don't want it to dry. Otherwise, you're gonna have a hard time carving on it. So this is where you're supposed to be by Sunday midnight. And I'm expecting you to upload the 3 photos, top, side, and bottom view with your name on it, okay?